For the past 50 years, we, the Bible Baptist Church, have had our building on the east side of Coffeyville, Kansas. We, for 50 years, have been part of this community, striving to make a difference. But in the early morning hours of July 1st, 2007, events that transpired would change our church forever. We had heard late Saturday afternoon that there was a possibility of the river topping the levee. The rains for the past several weeks had taken its toll on the southeast Kansas area. The dams to the north of us had opened their floodgates to full capacity and were raging down the Verdigris River straight towards our city. Some of the men from our church came early Saturday evening to prepare for a possible flood, not knowing how severe it really would be. Approximately 20 years earlier, we had had heavy rains and about a foot of water come into our church. So we boarded the bottoms of the doors, took the computers out of the office, and what we thought were important papers. As the sun was setting, we went to see how high the river was. It was almost an unbelievable sight. The Verdigris River that was west of us about 1 mile had pushed west of its banks for about a mile. We realized how the situation was getting worse at a very rapid pace. The devastation was enormous. What would our church do? Not only had this church been through several traumatic events in the past year, now the almost unthinkable had happened. What we loved, and what we held so many precious memories, now was literally washed away. We decided to thank the Lord for this event, and praise Him where He had chosen us to go through these times. This is not adversity, but rather an opportunity to show what God was doing in our heart. We had been asking for the unusual in our church. God had answered our prayer. What a thrill to be counted worthy by God. By Monday morning, we had already acquired a building. The old First National Bank building was sitting empty and had a sign for rent on it. The owner was gracious enough to allow us to rent it for $1.50. With no utilities, the large lobby was perfect for a church auditorium, and the old-fashioned chandeliers were a nice touch of class to our new temporary home. The phone calls started to pour in. People from all around the country wanted to help. Instead of focusing on our problem, we started to capitalize on this opportunity that God had given. Our ladies in our church started to make cookies by hundreds. We were able to have an old bank building to use as a hope center. And did we ever have hope to share in our community? We had a semi-truckload of food and supplies sent in to distribute to needy families. Pastors and their people came from the local area to bring water and other supplies. We had about 30 people show up the first day to help give out all our supplies, but most importantly, they were there to show others about Jesus Christ.